clear we've made enormous strides. And our plans and our policies have produced the strongest job creation economy in modern times.
That was Joe Biden earlier today, claiming the economy made, quote, enormous strides under his non-existent leadership. Joining me now for reaction is author of The Mind of a Conservative Woman, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Always wonderful to see you, Senator. And inflation hit a 40-year high. There are food shortages and gas prices. They've hit an all-time average high of $4.37 a gallon today. All the pain Americans are feeling is what Joe Biden calls, quote, enormous strides. Senator, what do you call it?
Enormous strides in the wrong direction. Take a look at this. It was 1.9% inflation when he took office, and we're up over 8.5%, as you said, 40-year highs. This is not a record to be boasting about, as the president was trying to do today. And what he should do is admit there are problems. There are supply chain problems, energy problems. Cost of coffee is up 143%. Eggs are up 43%. Bread's up 5%. Milk is up 13%. And Joe Biden is out here saying he's made enormous strides toward a great economy. I don't think the American people agree with him. Joe Biden should get out of Washington, D.C. and go visit a grocery store.
Well, the reason why Mr. Biden has all these problems defining the problems is he has no solutions. And let me pivot, if we can, to something else that he doesn't seem to want to comment on. Attacks on pro-life groups and people are escalating all over this country, from riots to verbal assaults to church desecrations. Biden's party is incredibly violent and out of control in these United States. The same people who called parents terrorists for objecting to left-wing indoctrination in the government-run schools, Senator, they are silent on all this violence. As a senator, what can you do to punish and expunge the political bias and subsequent lack of justice at the Department of Justice?
What the Department of Justice should do is say to these protesters who are outside of the justices' homes, you are in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1503. And they should haul all of these people down to the police headquarters. They should book them for violating a federal statute. What they're trying to do is change the outcome of a Supreme Court decision, and they're doing it by showing force and intimidation. And think about the disruptive nature of this. All of your viewers, think about if somebody came to your neighbor's house and started protesting and blocked the street to your neighborhood. Your children couldn't go outside. They couldn't ride a bicycle. They couldn't go play. You can't get in and out of your house without a policeman, officer being there to assist you. That is what is taking place. And it is imperative that DOJ, it is imperative that the White House, that Pelosi and Schumer stand up and say, you are violating federal law. We stand for the rule of law. You need to go to the public square and protest, but you cannot go to someone's home where they live, where their family lives. You cannot disrupt their home, their neighborhood, and carry out your protest, walking down the middle of their street, making it impossible for citizens to get to their homes.
Yeah, you know, polling, Senator, recent polling says 75% of Americans disagree with all of this stuff going on out there with these protests at Supreme Court justices' homes. Also, we made this observation earlier in the week. I wonder if the White House, Jen Psaki, who was saying this stuff at the time, or Pelosi or Schumer, maybe if they go after guns the next time, if they'd appreciate Second Amendment supporters showing up at their homes, if they would be so gung-ho about this type of activity we're seeing happen right now in the wake of that Roe versus Wade decision. Meantime, Senator, a report by Judicial Watch is revealing a Texas researcher warned the Wuhan lab of a China virus investigation by Congress. Now, let me ask you this. If Republicans gain the majority, are they going to ignore China's role in unleashing the pandemic as the Democrats have, or will the GOP hold Beijing accountable?
The GOP is going to conduct oversight and hearings and look into this. There was plenty of conversation early on that the Wuhan lab could have been the spot where this was developed and initiated. And we heard this from our diplomatic scientists. We heard it from people in the research community. We heard about the questions that were there on this lab, the safety precautions that were put in place. So, of course, we need to find out where this virus came from. We need to find out how it started, and we need to make certain something like this never happens again. And does the Chinese Communist Party need to be held to account? Yes, they do. They knew they had a pandemic on their hands for 52 days and did nothing and said nothing. But they did put in place a plan to sell PPE to the United States because they knew that we were going to need it.
Well, I hope the promised investigations do come. Last thing, Senator, with socialist indoctrination and censorship in our schools and online, it's evident that big tech and our government-run schools are a big danger to our kids. Tell us about the Parents' Guide that you have released for protecting kids online.
Yes, I have legislation, the Kids Online Safety Act, and we are looking forward to getting that passed this summer. But school's about to be out, and we were receiving comments from so many parents. And when I would be in Tennessee, people would come up and say, hey, I've watched your hearings. Tell me what I need to do to protect my child. And we decided to put this guide together, and people can get it on social media at one of my social media accounts at Marsha Blackburn or our website, blackburn.senate.gov. But we're making it available to parents and grandparents and caregivers for children so that they know how to help keep children safe. You know, you've got drug dealers, you've got pedophiles, you have people of ill intent that are online tracking children, following them, trying to establish relationships with them. And during the summer, when they're on their phones, you want to make certain that whether it's Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram, that you have set your privacy settings to the max, that you have been able to turn on the filters that you want to turn on to help keep your child safe.
Senator Blackburn, it's always wonderful to see you, and we'll talk to you soon as the election season heats up. Thanks for coming on.